Now we are on air. So this is very exciting, and we all remember the great presentation last year from Laura Gallagher from International Settlement. She closed with like, yeah, we really believe in Scion, we really like the technology, and we did all those tests, and we really would love to do that use that technology on a global scale. Unfortunately, there are no global players supporting us to roll out the global network. So we worked on that. Thank you so much for being here. This is the global panel, and it's really exciting to see how Scion is developing and how Scion is embraced by global players. As we stated before, we parachuted an entire Scion cell into the Benelux area, making Scion available for about 40 million end users in the Benelux area. So this is the community supporting and pushing this technology now in the Benelux area. But then also we have been working with international players, and there I would love to start with Carl. We have been working on this since I don't know, 100 years. Not exactly, no, but it's really exciting to have you here, and it's also really exciting that you can maybe quickly explain why did you believe, when nobody yet was talking globally about it, and started to discuss Scion within British Telco?
Okay, other than being brainwashed by Martin. No, okay, I'm English, working for British Telecom, but I'm based here in Zurich, and so I was hearing a lot about Scion. I attended my first Scion day back in 2023. Prior to that, I learned about it through one of our customers, BICS and Fritz, who we all know. And then since then, you know, we went through probably a similar journey to some other people on the panel, where there is an educational period to go through to, you know, convince, present, communicate, along with the help of Anapaya, other people within BT. You know, there's still a lot of doubters out there. And so we did that journey probably for about 6 months, and then we moved into POC. And that POC now is live services where we have BT customers using the SSFN over BT's global network.
Thank you so much. And similar but very different is Javier. You're leading the innovation team at Colt, and you have been looking into this technology and then somehow decided that could be the next big thing. And now we are sort of deploying globally. You have to quickly tell that journey. I think it's a very fascinating journey.
Yeah, well, also quite similar. I mean, I have to recognize that I didn't know anything about Scion 3 years ago. So that came through our customers, actually, who our Swiss customers asking for SSFN connectivity. And then I started to really look into this. I mean, what is this Swiss thing, a strange thing that is trying to replace BGP, etc. But I mean, through conversations, I mean, I realized, and being part of innovation, I like really new stuff and new challenges. That there is actually an opportunity here to build something different, an alternative to the current internet. So, as an innovation project, we also built a POC. We ran the POC. We actually built that on top of our production network. That was very successful. Over time, I've been having conversations with customers, understanding that this was really beyond SSFN. It goes beyond just building isolated communities, and it has really a bigger scope moving forward. So even from a market opportunity point of view, we've been talking to customers, and we have the belief that there is a big opportunity there. So the good thing I would like to announce today is that, as you mentioned, Martin, we have actually approved Scion as a product development next year, so it's going to be the first half of next year. But we are actually already designing the network and building the network. It's going to be an international one. So we will build a core that spans US, Europe, and Asia to start with, because we really want to position our international footprint, and we don't want to be limited to Switzerland. Okay, so next year, hopefully, by Scion Day 2026, I would like to then be in a position where I can show you the network and where I can show you really the product running.
So exciting, and when we talk to large organizations, very often I feel like they have an innovation team, so no one else has to care about innovation. Looks very different in Colt. I think you have an innovation team, so then the organizations really can embrace innovation.
Well, it's tough. They don't believe everything we propose, and they don't accept everything we put on the table. So really, I think this speaks for Scion, to be honest. Innovation, probably we get a rate of 5% of ideas get implemented. It's very tough to implement new products in a service provider. Very, very tough, especially in this environment of networking capability. So yeah, it's not that easy as it seems, but I think the credit goes for Scion, to be honest.
It's so exciting to see that. And I think that's also, I would like to hand over to you, Cameron. You are moving super fast with the Megaport. This is a fascinating company, 1,000 data centers, and it's really exciting. You flew in from Australia to be here at the Scion Day. What makes you to look into this technology?
I think similar to Carl, I think there's an element of a brainwashing by Martin. But we think Scion's really interesting. I think Megaport's, we've kind of built this network up to be completely automated. So unlike some other networks, there's no humans who really operate the network. And so we can kind of implement Scion globally without the same level of effort, I guess, that it might take. So we're really interested to see how we can support the global rollout of the network and grow from there.
Very, very exciting. And now, Jack, you do not implement Scion in your network, but you are a silver sponsor at the Scion Day. So this is very interesting. So what makes you believe from Digital Realty into this technology? What's your role if you do not deploy on your own network Scion? I thought that's very fascinating.
So Andreas in the last session talked about how the cloud is not a puffy thing on up in the sky. The cloud is a very large number of very large buildings with hundreds of diesel generators behind them, thousands of megawatts of power delivered to them, and thousands of megawatts of heat removed by extensive air conditioning systems. This is we are the industrial base that supports the clouds and our direct customers. I manage a team that sells to our global banking customers. So we have, for many years, we had 2 very large Swiss banks as customers. We only have 1 now. We support over the last 20 years. We've landed as customers nearly every large global bank based in the U.S., in the U.K., and here in EMEA. As I said, we are the place where the cloud comes to the ground, where the machines sit, and where these connections are made.
Yeah, thank you. This is it's in a way fascinating when you describe cloud. It really gets more like concrete and stuff. It's a little less,
a lot of cement,
cloudy.
A lot of steel, and a lot of electricity. Yeah.
And so we have here this international infrastructure players introducing Scion to the world. This is really exciting, and I think Hans, you are sort of the bridging piece from this international cloud then to the really very fast moving ecosystem in Benelux. You look into Scion also since quite a while.
Yeah, so we were introduced to Scion by Olivier, sitting in the room here, like 2 years ago. In the meanwhile, we have been talking a lot about it. We are an international carrier also, doing a lot of services like voice roaming, IoT, eSIM, all these kind of things. And we are seeing the benefit and the added value of Scion as being an access technology to all these services that we provide. on our international footprint, and that's what we are trying to achieve.
Now, BICS was one of the players really bringing the internet as we know to life. Also, Jan, you are one of the players that was instrumental. You were an instrumental person and player to make the internet as we know running and being available as we know it today. What made you think, okay, Scion, that could be something you want to spend time on?
Yeah, well, we are roughly the 5th largest internet exchange in the world, so we are present in 100 data centers throughout Europe. And we have been looking at Scion before, but recent developments, political developments, US, China, regulations from Europe, has changed the entire umveld for what's needed for those organizations. So, especially today, I was reinforced in this idea that if you see how well Scion is used in all those, in finance, in energy, in all those areas, we think that this is possible in the Benelux, in Holland, but all over Europe. So we wanted to reinforce availability of Scion throughout Europe. So what we did yesterday, we announced that we are building a pan-European Scion exchange. So we want to make it available for everybody in Europe to connect at any place in Europe to exchange Scion traffic with each other.
This is very big news. Big applause maybe for that.
Yeah, with the idea that we can help the development of Scion. So a lot of people in Europe don't even know about Scion yet or think, oh, that was something that was tried 10 years ago. So there's really a lot of development to be done throughout Europe, education throughout Europe to show people what's happening here and how beneficial it could be to the other markets as well.
Thank you so much. Johan, you are representing the 2nd largest internet service provider in Holland. I think Holland is one of the most relevant countries if it comes to critical infrastructures. We all love the harbor there. What made Odido deciding that Scion can be of relevance and moving the market there?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, we're indeed one of the largest ISPs in the Netherlands. We provide fixed and mobile services. So connectivity is our bread and butter in this sense. So yeah, we also provide on top of this connectivity traditional VPN, SD-WAN, anti-DDoS solutions. So yeah, going for Scion means that we have another important innovation which we can bring to customers. And I think we see already the traction in the market, that customers really feel like this is something we need to see and try. So happy to join the movement in this sense.
And Diederik, I think you saw this relatively fast, relatively early. You are providing security and mostly work for critical infrastructure players. Where do you see is Scion a game changer, and how important is the ecosystem currently deploying?
Yeah, for us, we're an MSP out from Netherlands, and we're not that great, not that big compared to you guys. But last December, we had a talk with Realty. One of our account managers called us up and, do you know about Scion? I just read about it, so I thought, yeah, of course I know about Scion. And from that, it escalated from talking to customers, knowing the technology, know what's going to, what we need to run it for us, and mostly located in Switzerland, of course. After that, we connected with Anapaya, and I think we got it up and running in 2 months. So we are currently running the course in the Netherlands. What we supply to our customers is a solution, but we're not going to expand our current network. We would like to work with our partners, for example, Realty, LEX. They provide us, and of course, Megaport, sorry. With these partners, we can reach for our customers almost all over the world.
And I think this is really exciting. I mean, basically, professionals like you working in very difficult, very critical infrastructure environment now can access an entire ecosystem, providing full-fledged solutions. I think this is quite impressive how you all brought this together and make it valuable for customers, because there is always this chicken and egg. We talked a lot about that. What's first? Do we need first the ecosystem, or first the customer, or first the provider? And I think it just needs people who move and who do stuff. and in a way that's quite exciting. So maybe Jan, I mean, you are a person who does stuff, right? At least you have an amazing track record on that. So how important do you think, or what is the ecosystem basically playing to make this valuable?
Well, of course, here in Zurich, you see there's already a big momentum, and it's all rolling already. And we might be at the point that in the rest of, at least the rest of Europe, this momentum is building up as well, especially because of the international push. You can expect customer groups that want their own isolation domains to step forward right now because they want more security. So I think we're right before the storm right now, and it's the right moment for everybody to step in and to help our customers enable this.
And if you compare now this Scion technology with the security portfolio, you're working with customers. Does this complement? Is it completely different, or how does this tie in together, Carl?
Definitely different. So BT, gives some numbers. So 140 countries we cover, and over the top of our global network, we run around 200 products. We're trying to reduce them, but roughly around 200 products. Kind of vendor not agnostic, so we're always kind of looking at new technologies, new innovations. This is where we got to hear about Scion, and so we consider it definitely as an addition to our products, complementing what they've got. Very use case specific. I think we've said that numerous times. So we've heard a lot today. The energy markets, government education. These are kind of use cases that we see. So the work that we're doing at the minute is so we've already productized the connection to the SSFN, relatively easy. The ISD already existed, so all we had to do was connect to it. As we're all hearing, creating new ISDs is the one to ask that we all crave for, but it's finding that killer use case and the business and the companies that want to join that. And I do think they're there. We've kind of go out there. We've documented lots of different use cases. From a solution perspective, we're talking to our customers. There's even other use cases in the banking industry that are not related to SSFN that there's a lot of interest around. Sovereignty comes up a lot. We've talked about it a lot today. So definitely complementary to our current product set.
And is the whole topic around cloud security? I think that's a huge topic. Maybe Jack, you can comment on that. Is Scion something that you say, okay, we are positioning this to give more credibility to cloud security, or is this just something the customer has to come?
Absolutely, because we are, we do business with all the banks, all the large banks around the world, and they're obviously very focused on security. We, Digital Realty, provide the physical security for them, right? So the fence around the place, the access control, the security guards, cameras, et cetera. That's one level of security, and then we host the providers that do the next level up security, that provide network security, like Scion. So Scion is a differentiator for us because the first node sits in our data center campus here in Zurich. If any of you would like to come and see it tomorrow, we'd be delighted to host you. And we provide that. Our goal is to have that same service available throughout our global footprint in all the major financial centers where we have, about roughly 100 buildings across the world in those financial services centers. All of these guys are in them, right? They are providing their services, and we think if Scion is available there, and we can drive interest in Scion from, because SIX is such an integral part of Scion here. If our friends at SIX would talk to their friends at the London Stock Exchange or at the Singapore Exchange or New York Stock Exchange, we believe that will help. If the Swiss National Bank or the BIS start to require Scion for the connectivity to the international banks that they connect to, we think that's going to be a great business driver for us.
And how relevant is now for Colt this let's say positioning Scion as a security product for their customer, or is it more like a networking product? I mean, it's something in between. How do you think Colt will position this?
Yeah. So one thing is technology, and another thing is how you develop products, right? So the first question that you get internally is, why don't you use existing technologies?
Yeah.
I mean,
Has been
why
working
don't you
so
use
far, right?
MPLS? I mean, tell me. And this is a discussion that I had to have internally. And so basically what I want to say is the technology really goes really beyond. If you understand what is being developed by ETH, by Anapaya and the team, and you think about Hummingbird, for instance, as a project that is going to deliver something that is a new internet, that is going to be QoS-based, intent-based, as opposed to a best for internet, you cannot position this internally in a service provider like this, because I mean nobody is going to understand this, and it's not available yet. So the initial discussion is about focusing on critical networks with a security angle. So for those customers that don't trust the public internet and they would like to either build a wide area network that is ultra secure, you don't use the internet, plus a big important point is multi-provider. So that's really the difference with other existing technologies like MPLS, and we need to accept that customers really want that choice. So this is going to be the positioning, really is a modern wide area network technology that is ultra secure, that is going to allow those customers to build, let's say, what we see as the future wide area network. This is going to be the initial positioning, but I mean, being in innovation, what really interests me the most is really where this is going to end up in the future. But yeah, initially small steps. Positioning is about critical networks, serving our critical network customers.
And critical networks very often are national networks, national services. So maybe Diederik, how relevant is digital sovereignty in the context of your customers? Is this a topic?
Yeah, it's a huge topic at the moment, of course. We as a cloud provider get a lot of requests from the bigger hyperscalers to come to us. So we like to add more products to it. So Scion is one of them. However, in Holland at the moment, it's really unknown for the moment. So we start trying to educate our customers, train commercial persons, not only ourselves, but other commercial persons as well. So yeah, we're currently trying to get our customer base, payment and payment gateways, well, not the banking, but we're trying to do the banking, financial institutions, to educate on a different kind of security. What's possible now, what can be done in the future. I think it will take some time. And as of today, I'm learning a lot, of course, from what's happening in Switzerland. And we get a lot of help from, for example, Cyberlink on how to approach our customer, how they approach the customer, and how we can help that.
Jan, you're a global provider.
European.
European.
Yeah.
It's half global. Do you see as well a momentum coming in that cloud infrastructure needs to be digital sovereign, or is this, let's say, in the context of internet exchange a bit less?
No, digital sovereignty is a very big issue for us as well. People try to get back stuff into the country itself, or at least within the European Union. And the sovereignty is not a black-white thing, so it's not either yes or no sovereign, but getting it more and more sovereign, or at least sovereign enough. And security plays a big role in that as well. So we see Scion is one of the solutions, but for example, SSE or Zero Trust is also a solution people are working on. So on different fields, people are trying to make it more secure. And you see the role of us as an internet exchange changing from just a transport provider into helping enterprises with their security solutions as well. So the market is changing for us as well.
Yeah. And for Odido, this is a driver, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. So we're an ISP, so critical infrastructure. That also means we have to play our role in this. With Scion, for example, with the geofencing, which becomes available or is available, I think we are able to help our customers keep their traffic where they want it, and in this sense, secure the future.
And then Hans, for you that must be a nightmare, the digital sovereignty. I mean, you are the largest transit provider, so you are trying to move data, right?
at the end of the day, it's not a nightmare. At the end of the day, it's an opportunity because if you look at it, one of my colleagues went to an AWS event last week where the EU AI Act was largely discussed. But if you look at it, the only thing that they are discussing is what's happening in the cloud. Everything, data protection and stuff like that in the cloud. But the moment you get out of the cloud, because these things need to be transported, nobody's talking about it. And then Scion comes into play. I think Scion might be a very nice technology that can help the EU AI Act become more inclusive, including the network. So for us, I think that's a big opportunity.
Big opportunity, yeah. Okay. It makes stuff maybe more expensive. I think that we come maybe to that. Cameron, I mean, you have 1,000 data centers. I think digital sovereignty is really like the biggest opportunity ever. I mean, otherwise you could put everything in one data center, right? Not right, really.
It's definitely something that we hear a lot from customers about. It's one of the biggest topics at the moment, especially with some of the geopolitical stuff going on, like Johan mentioned before. It's something that we hear from customers a lot. And I think Scion brings an interesting aspect to that where customers can have a say in where their data goes and how the data is routed along the traditional internet.
And we had an interesting conversation before. You said, yeah, it's a great opportunity for you, but it makes stuff really expensive because electricity, for example, is bloody expensive in Germany. Can you explain that?
Without commenting on the wisdom of German energy policy, it is, right? It's insanely expensive, and especially for someone coming from America. When I look at our, I get a report every month of what our cost of electricity is across our whole portfolio, 50 cities around the world. And it's crazy what that number is for Frankfurt. But in some ways, the regulators are a very great friend to us because data sovereignty means that our customers need to have data center capacity in more countries. And that's a great thing for us because we have data center capacity in 16 or 17 European countries now, and we can provide our customers with that capacity, with room to grow, and the same contracting experience, the same operational experience across the whole thing. So it makes it easy for them to occupy another data center, and makes it easier for us to grow our business.
So I think that's a very interesting conversation, but obviously that can go now very, very deep and become very political. So I will not touch too close, but maybe we have questions later on that. But obviously, it is digital sovereignty is introducing more resiliency, but it comes at a certain cost. So I think that's so. Maybe do we already have some questions from the audience?